time. This is the season that God has ordained and preordained and predestined for those of us who believe. I believe that this is the time that God has set for us to become knowledgeable. He said in his word that his people perish for a lack of knowledge. Amen. Knowledge is being released into this season. Amen. Knowledge is being released right now into each and every one of us. And of course, just like any other seed, it's not just for you. When you receive these seeds, when they take root, when they go down and begin to sprout and become strong in you, you have to share this information. Amen. You have to take it to your families, take it to your communities, because that's the only way that you are going to be able to take this back. Talk to you about the Make Up Your Mind tour. If you hadn't heard of that, now you know. This is divinely inspired. This woman of God got this vision several years ago, and it is called the kind of life that you're going to have. It really is up to you. There is no rule that says that you have to suffer. There is no rule that says that you have to stay where you are. As women and men of God, as Christians, we're entitled to the kingdom, the blessings and the riches of the kingdom. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Everything in it belongs to him. We hear this all the time. We hear it and it's like it hits our head, fall on the floor. Today, receive it. It is yours. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it. If you got children, you already know everything you got is for them. Every move you make is for them. You don't do anything without considering how it's going to affect your children or your household. Imagine how much more our faults if we don't receive it. There is no reason to not have. There is no reason to be in lack. And the spirit of poverty, and it is a spirit, it is a principality, a principle. Again, we hear these things. It is a principle. It is a process. That's not your portion. And if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. And if you don't want it in your communities, it doesn't have to be there. Every person in this room has the power to put 10,000 to flight. Everyone. If it's in the word, I believe it, and that's it. There's nothing else to talk about. So apply it. You hear people say knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is power. Hear this word. So if I didn't give you my social security number, you have no right to use it for anything, let alone to cause me harm by saying that I owe you money on my credit report. Right? So debt validation is your protection. It is your right. It is your right to say, tell me in these 5 specific ways how I owe. In law, doesn't exist. If you and I have a contract that's all typed up beautifully and we both sign it and this is the 4 walls of this contract, this is what lives. This is what happened. If we take a pen, yes ma'am?
So when you get, let's say you default the hospital bills, and they sell that loan or whatever, they start sending you that letter.
Notice that the hospital isn't the one who sends it to you.
Right. But they
saying, I'm getting this and I'm just out. I'm not paying for it. Very few people. Most people want to pay their bills. And debt collectors who are predatory by nature prey on that. They prey on the goodness of people. Folks want to do the right thing, generally. So, understand and don't let it offend your sensibilities that we're telling you you do not owe a debt. Gina spoke to this earlier, and I'll get back to debt validation, I'm sorry. After 6 months, typically you stop hearing from the original creditor. After 12, because they're selling you. After 12 months, the original creditor knocks on the government's door via an income tax form and says, hey, I had this much in bad debt.
That word.
and who pay taxes?
Exactly. Wow. So the debt is paid. So don't leave here today thinking that these women came in here and told you you ain't got to pay none of your bills. Because one of the things that you learn when you begin this process is pay your bills on time. Sometimes life happens and you're not able to, but you want to pay your bills. Right. Don't make bills. That's the better solution. Don't be long-eyed. Lust of the eyes, pride of life, lust of the flesh. That's how you get in debt. This is what happens, right? Okay, so back to debt validation. So prove to me that I owe the debt. Prove that I owe the debt to you by providing me with a contract. give me some proof or some other instrument, and right now the only one I know is that there is a written contract that says I owe you this money. You agree to provide a service to me, good, acceptance, and consideration. That's a contract. Needs to be in writing, right? In addition to providing me with a contract that proves that you and I engaged in this business together, you need to now give me a complete accounting of this account. I need to see the whole history, from the first time we transacted to the very last time, including the amount, the date, under what circumstances, whatever the instrument was. This is your right. You have a right to ask for this. It is in writing. If you don't believe me,